Welcome to today's Premier Experts, your one-stop shop to find industry experts in a variety of niches. My name is Ray Perez, and I'm a global branding expert. I travel the world speaking to entrepreneurs and business owners, and we've created this show to take advantage of their wealth of knowledge. I interview experts across different fields to learn what has made them become successful. When you interview people from a wide range of industries, those points of views brought together can create massive success for your business. Welcome to today's Premier Experts. I'm your host, Ray Perez, and today our special guest is Billy Wease, the health and wellness expert. But before we get into the interview, we have another edition of $1 Million Mindset. This is where we get the opportunity to ask high-level CEOs what it takes to reach 7 figures and beyond. Check it out.
My name is Bill Wallace, and I have a company called Success North Dallas that I founded 30 years ago at the behest of my two mentors, Herb Kelleher, Southwest Airlines, and Roger Meyer, at that time the largest Cadillac dealer in the Southwest. Success in your own eyes, honor your commitments, be a giver. Those have been the watchwords of Success North Dallas since 1988 and the backbone of my new book, Being a Catalyst for Success, The Fulfilling Life of a Servant Leader. Ladies and gentlemen, this book has been a book in progress for 30 years. It started as a 50,000 word document, and we got it down to 5,000 of the most critical words possible. Words that will impact your life, quotes that will take you to the next level, take your next networking to the next level, and most importantly, make a difference in not only your lives, but the lives of many, many others. In 1983, I went into the insurance business, and after the first few years, I found my niche. My niche was working with startups. And I've since worked with 164 startups. And not that I was an entrepreneur at that point in time, but I found out I truly was. I was working with entrepreneurs. And I found out if you want to become an entrepreneur, there's no school for entrepreneurship. You want it, you go to work for one, you pay your dues, you apprentice in, and you have a fairly good chance of success if and only if you take the right mentors, the right guides with you. I think the first and most important downfall of a young entrepreneur is thinking they have to do everything right now. They don't. You take it one step at a time. For instance, let's take benefits. You don't have to put in the 401k. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. What you do have to do is share the ownership with your team. They're going to come with you because of you. Not the idea, not the grandiose scheme of things, but because of you. So as you move forward in this, let them be a part of the ownership, making the decisions, not necessarily the overall financial ownership, but the decision-making process, the input. My definition of an entrepreneur is one who has the ability and does share the vision, share the passion of that vision, and then share the ownership while leaving almost all, but not quite, of the ego at the door. Folks, we still got to have some gas in our tanks. We are, in fact, entrepreneurs, and we do it because it does something for us. When you talk about daily habits, you have to talk about the ecosystem of the entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs thrive because they're in an ecosystem of other entrepreneurs. One of my key daily habits was to constantly stay in touch with other entrepreneurs to get the mindset, to see what they're doing, the pitfalls, not having to reinvent the wheel, but having simply to polish my own wheel with the knowledge I received from other people. One of the other key issues I truly believe is that an entrepreneur at heart has a real problem delegating. An entrepreneur at heart has a real problem giving up control. Ladies and gentlemen, get off your butts, give it up early, or suffer longer. Your success comes equally with the amount that you share. Because sometimes to finish first, we got to finish last. We have to put those other people first, those employees. We're at the Hero Club right now when we're taping this. And the hero factor is very simply building a company of heroes. Our heroes are not us. They are our employees. Our employees then make us heroes. Focus on your people. And remember, don't hire your friends, because you really don't know who your friends are when they get inside of a business environment. Hire the right person for the right reason at the right time. And interesting enough, that is my tagline. I have the greatest job in the world. I get to connect people, take a step back, and then watch the magic happen. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But my tagline is connecting the right people for the right reasons at the right time.
Hello, my friend. This is Ray Perez, global branding expert, inviting you to the Business Growth Bootcamp. This is an event that we do for 3 days in Miami, Florida, for business owners, entrepreneurs, and business professionals who are looking to grow and scale their business. We're going to be talking about branding, marketing, sales, speaking, video, social media, and much, much more. I brought a team of experts from all over the country to come and speak to you and teach you their experiences and their expertise to assist you in growing your business. Now, this is a 3-day event, starting off with day 1 when we talk about mindset. Mindset is the most important part about growing your business and understanding why it's important that we do certain things. Now, in day 2, we're going to be talking about skill set. Skill set is what do we need to do to implement to get those levels of results. And day number 3 is my favorite, implementation day. That's right, this is a boot camp, so we're actually going to be getting work done for you and your business. So I'm very excited to invite you to the Business Growth Bootcamp. If you want more information, watch the videos below on this page, and I look forward to seeing you at the next upcoming event. Hey my friends, it's Ray Perez, and I'm so excited to be launching my brand new co-author book project. That's right, for the very first time, I'm launching the opportunity for you to be a co-author with me in my brand new book, The Drive to Success. Now, you may be wondering what this book is about, and it's really true life stories of high-performance entrepreneurs who failed their way to success. And me being one of those, I've had a lot of failures in my life, and each time I failed, I became more successful. And I really truly feel that as entrepreneurs, we don't get to hear about people's stories of how they failed, because truly without failure, you're not going to be successful. I was working out the other day trying to get back into shape, and I was realizing what bodybuilders do when they're working out is they do repetitions until failure. And the reason is when you hit that failure, that's when the real muscle growth happens. So you can't actually be successful or grow without failure. And that was a huge analogy for me because I've really considered my life and all my clients and people that I work with. And I'm like, it's true. We need to go through failure to achieve success. So I wanted to create a book, The Drive to Success, of what it takes to persevere through that failure and be able to achieve next level success each time. So if you have a story that you'd like to share to inspire other entrepreneurs and small business owners, then I'd love for you to click the link below and apply to be part of our co-author book project. Now, in addition to obviously becoming a published author, you're also going to be a best-selling author because we will be running a bestseller campaign for our new book. In addition to that, you're also going to be part of a podcast, so you get to share your story and use it in that format as well. And you might be thinking, Ray, I don't have the time to write a book, not even if it's just a chapter in a book. Well, guess what? You don't have to write a single word because my team is going to interview you, record the call, and transcribe the entire thing and format it into your chapter in the book. You won't have to write a single word. All you have to do is revise it, make sure it's in your voice, in your language, and that you're happy with it so we can approve it. Now, the other thing is this. We're not just creating a book, we're also creating a whole marketing campaign around it. I'm also launching a podcast called The Drive to Success, which I'll interview you after you write your chapter and to kind of discuss the challenges that you went through, what happened, and how you got to that next level, so you can use that into your marketing as well. Now, depending which one of our 3 options you choose, we're also going to do a VIP day right here in Miami, which you're going to get a professional photo shoot with your book. You're also going to get to meet several other co-authors and like-minded entrepreneurs. We're going to spend a great time, and I'm going to teach you how to leverage the power of your book in your marketing. That is my skill set. I'm not a publisher. That's why I partnered with the best, but I am a brander and I am a marketer, and I'm gonna teach you how to leverage the most out of this book, unlike any other book, even if you're a published author as well. Now, in addition to that, we have several other benefits that are listed below in our packages. Make sure that you click to apply to get access to everything that's in our book project. And I am just so excited. And here's one thing, you can't just buy your way into this. It doesn't matter how much money you have or if you want to be a part of it, you do need to qualify. And the reason is this. We want to make sure that you have an inspiring story and you really want to make a difference in others' lives. This isn't just a thing about making money. I can do this book project on my own. It's about giving you an opportunity. And we want to make sure that you're properly positioned in a way to leverage what we're doing in this book project, because we want all 10 authors to be promoting to give 10 times the amount of exposure to this book than if you were just promoting it on your own. So hopefully you are interested in being part of our new book project. Click the link below and apply, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.
What I like best about the Inner Circle is that the team of people that you have working and helping pull things out of you allows you to see areas in your life that would probably take you years to find out.
As soon as I was introduced to the concept of Inner Circle, I knew immediately that I wanted to be a part of it. So to be able to have access to that on a weekly basis has been transformational.
It's better than a family. It's somebody that actually understands your background and your where you come from, and everybody wants to go in the same direction.
I love the opportunity to just kind of share my thoughts and get some opinions and feedback from people who have either done it or just to get some outsider feedback to make sure I'm on the right track, or to give you some guidance to make those decisions.
They work with you closely, one-on-one, and trying to really help you succeed in all areas, whether it's personal or business, and that could be really applied to your life and career.
We all help each other, and every time we have a meeting with Ray or Dave, they've got a small curriculum, and on top of that, they additionally bring someone else to kind of help us in a different area of our business.
I was a little bit worried, like, is this going to work? Will I be able to commit to this time every single week? You know, is it going to be worth to set aside that much time? We've always maximized our time, and then on top of that, my performance that day and week increased greatly. So, well worth it.
Before I joined the Inner Circle, I really didn't understand what it was all about. I just thought it was a way for somebody to come in and say, hey, you know, we're going to give you something, and you know, you turn over your money and you get no value out of it. And I feel like it's the value is 10x what I expected.
Having coaches and team members that are able to, give you a different perspective of your business just by looking at their business as well.
Having people in your corner to just discuss anything. I take it beyond business. I talk about my personal life. I talk about things that are concerning me. We talk about business. It's everything that you need to really be clear on what you're trying to do.
The whole curriculum, I believe it's great for anyone that is a business owner, an entrepreneur who's growing a legitimate business.
They create a environment that you can blossom not only personally, but your business.
If you're someone that's in business, a business owner looking to grow your business, looking to get more exposure.
If you're a dreamer, if you think that you were put on this earth to do something amazing, joining the Inner Circle will help you, make those dreams come true.
Hello, my friend, it's Ray Perez, global branding expert, and I have a very special gift for you. If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or business professional that's looking to scale and grow your business, and I have exactly what you've been looking for. I call this My 360 Sites. I've been working on this for the last 2.5 years to build my brand online, my brand presence, live events, speaking, networking, and social media, and I've been doing it very successfully. And now I want to give you free access. Why? Because I want you to be able to build, launch, and grow a successful business. And when you do that, I really want you to give back, just like I'm doing right now. That's all that you need to do. Now, what can you expect from My 360 Sites? Well, number one, it's going to allow you to network more efficiently. Build trust and credibility with your audience. Allow them to learn more about who you are and what you do. Whether you're an author, speaker, podcaster, or just have a couple websites, this is your opportunity to bring everything in one place and cross-promote who you are. And the best part is, it doesn't make them feel that you're being salesy. Why? Because people love to buy, but they hate to be sold. Now, in addition to this, I also want you to learn how to get the maximum value out of your 360 site. So I'm also giving you access to one of our optimization sessions with my team so they can teach you exactly how to use it in your particular business and how to get the most value. Now, we do have limited spots available, so you must click the button on this page right now and get registered for your free 360 site. Now, at the end of the quick setup, which will only take you 5 minutes, there's gonna be a calendar for you to schedule the best date and time for your optimization session. Please make sure to do that. Why? Because if you don't have an optimization session, it's like having a Ferrari and parking in the garage. You're not gonna really know how to drive it to get the maximum performance. So click the button on this page, get registered, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Welcome to today's Premier Experts. I'm your host, Ray Perez, and today my special guest is the health and wellness expert, Mr. Billy Wease. Welcome to the show, Billy.
Hey, thank you, Ray.
My pleasure to have you on the show, and like I always like to start and kick off the show, why is the reason they call you the health and wellness expert?
Well, Ray, when I was 14, I decided I wanted to become a pharmacist. And when I was in my last semester of pharmacy school at UNC Chapel Hill, I got a phone call one evening. It was my grandmother, and I call her Granny. And she called me on a regular basis, so it was not at all unusual. Yes, Granny, I'm eating well. Yes, Granny, I'm sleeping well. Yes, Granny, class is going well. I'll be done in just a few weeks, and you promised me that you would make me my favorite meal, your meatloaf. And so then what? They say you have cancer. So I'd spent a ton of time with my grandmother growing up. And so I was just devastated. I was sitting on the phone 3 hours away from her crying. And I was like, I want to give you a hug, Granny, but I'm 3 hours away. She said, well, I have an oncology appointment next week. I'll let you know what they say. I said, no, you know what? I'm going to come and I'm going to take you to that appointment. So I thought a few weeks away from graduating from the #1 pharmacy school in America that I would be of some help at this appointment. So we go to the appointment. The oncologist says, you need chemo and radiation. You need it now. And I asked what I thought was a really important question. What else can we do to help Granny have a better outcome? He looked me right in the eyes. I'll never forget it. And he said, absolutely nothing.
Wow.
And so I left that meeting that day, or that appointment that day with Granny. Beth and I, my wife, also getting ready to graduate pharmacy school. We took her back home, and we were driving back the 3 hours to Chapel Hill. And I looked over at Beth and I said, what are we doing? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, here we are, a few weeks from graduating from the #1 pharmacy school in America, and we don't have any idea how to help Granny. And so it was then that I really realized that pharmacy school was not really about health, but it was about drugs and surgery. And so it really inspired me to make a change. So I graduated pharmacy school, and then I went to work at Ecker Drug while Granny was going through her treatments. She went from working 40 hours a week at Mooney Hosiery Sock Mill to we're changing her diapers. Bedridden and we're changing her diapers.
In what amount of time?
Oh, just a few months. Very short amount of time.
Wow.
Very short amount of time. So it was devastating, you know. And so my grandfather couldn't move her around like he needed to. So Beth and I were actually living there with them. So I'd work at the pharmacy, she'd work at the pharmacy, we'd come home and we would take care of her.
Wow.
And so one evening, she took a very bad turn for the worse, called the doctor. He said, get her to the hospital. He said, well, she has multiple organ failure. The chemo and radiation doses were high. You got a few hours with her.
Because of the chemo radiation?
Because of the chemo and radiation, yes.
Which is supposedly the thing that's supposed to be helping her with
Well,
the cancer.
it was the only thing we were told
that could help
her. Is even, you know, it was the only options. So yeah, so that ended up in a couple hours. Like he said, we called in the family and she passed away. So driving home from the Charlotte hospital that night, I looked at Beth again and I said, Beth, I'm turning in my notice at Eckerd's. I said, I can't do this for the next 30, 40, 50 years. This is crazy. I said, nobody's getting well in this system. Because every day at Eckerd's, I would see more grannies coming in.
Yeah.
And they were just getting more and more drugs with no real results. So that led me to go start the first of 3 now, Prescriptions Plus Pharmacies. And we named it Prescriptions Plus because we're going to offer prescriptions, but we're going to offer plus.
And the reason I would assume that you offer the prescriptions is because that's what everybody thinks that they need and they should be doing.
That's
so
correct.
It's kind of the way to get them in the door.
That's correct. It's a way to introduce them.
Correct. And,
Yes.
And the plus, which you'll get to in a moment, is how you start educating them that there is alternatives and there is other ways. Am I correct?
That's correct. Absolutely. So I started doing that at Prescriptions Plus, and more people were coming in, and I was taking time with them and educating them on food, supplements, water, you know, exercise, sleep, and people started really getting better. So, of course, that spreads like wildfire, right, in churches and workplaces and all these different areas. So people were coming to me with all these different conditions that I wasn't really qualified to talk to them about at the time. So I went back to school, to the University of South Florida School of Medicine, and obtained an advanced fellowship in metabolic and nutritional medicine.
Got it.
So there is where I really started to up my game, okay?
And just
become the real wellness expert.
And just to be clear, most doctors, physicians, pharmacists have no clue, no education whatsoever when it comes to actual health and metabolism. And I know this because I have a degree in sports medicine, and most doctors only have like a few hours in med school
Correct.
in that particular field. So they know how to look at your illnesses and give you this prescription, but they have no clue whatsoever under the sun to actually give you an alternative.
That's correct. And even in my book, The 21st Century Pharmacist, I have a statistic in there about how little education doctors actually get on true health and wellness.
Yep.
It's all about reactive medicine, right? You come in, you say you have this, well, you need this drug, or you need this procedure, or you need this surgery. There's no lifestyle taught.
And why do you think that is?
Yeah, Ray, I think it's because if you really look at the way our system is broken today in America, the insurance companies, the pharmaceutical companies, they're controlling the agenda.
Yeah.
So they're controlling the education that the pharmacists get, they're controlling the education that the physicians get, and then they're controlling how the physician is practicing medicine, right? They're controlling what drugs the pharmacist can dispense through formularies. I mean, it's a convoluted system. It's a really system that what I'm trying to do as a health and wellness expert is teach people how to use the system for what it's good for, like emergency medicines and things. Mm-hmm. But for chronic disease management, we're the worst. And so let's avoid it by not having chronic diseases, right, through the OptiU RX lifestyle changes.
So you wrote the book, The 21st Century Pharmacist, because obviously you do understand and realize that the prescription drugs are sometimes necessary and appropriate, but there's so much additional plus that people can be doing to have healthier long-term life. Can you kind of share a little bit about how you explain that in the book?
Yeah, so what I do in the book is I talk about first, I make the case that the system is broken. And then I make the case that there's a better way. And so then I start going through the 5 pillars of my program. I go through the fact that the average prescription drug and this is research from the University of Stanford School of Medicine, the average prescription drug has 398 side effects. 398 side
one
effects.
prescription drug.
One prescription drug. And I don't think most people know that. I don't think most pharmacists know that. I don't think most doctors know that information. And so as the 21st century pharmacist, it's my job to know that, to be the expert, to know these things, and to educate the consumer that if we can avoid or minimize things that have 398 side effects and use the supplements that I've formulated that have only positive effects, like the 5-chelated organic magnesium that I created, over 350 positive benefits in the body. So I always ask people, if I can use something, let's say for sleep or for headache or for leg cramps, that has 350 positive effects versus a drug that has 398 side effects, which do I want to try first? Which do I want to strive to be able to use long term?
And how long, so you started working at Eckerd Drugs while Granny was sick. A couple months later, she passed away. You put in your notice.
Yes, sir.
You launched your first business at the age of what?
I would have been 22 or 23.
Okay, perfect. Like when I launched.
Right.
So at 22
right.
years old, you start your first pharmacy.
Right.
You and your wife.
Right.
Right? And then when was it that you started creating your own supplements?
Created the supplements about the last decade. So as the OptiU RX program evolved, as things became more and more apparent that we needed higher quality, and there were things about supplements, there's some great supplements out there, but the vast majority are just not very high quality because nobody regulates.
And there were fillers and a lot of,
correct.
I know because from
toxic fillers, absolutely. I have a whole chapter in my book about one of the leading multivitamins in the world and all the different agents that are in it that can lead to ADHD, cancers. I mean, you can't believe it until you really see the research.
And they've marketed themselves as a healthy, like
Yes.
this is the go-to.
That's correct.
Vitamin or whatever supplement.
Yes.
And people are buying it off the shelves or going to
Right.
Walmart and Costco.
Correct.
And they have no idea what they're putting into their body.
Correct. So I wanted to go and make the highest quality and be able to choose each and every ingredient, the amount, the form of each and every ingredient, and we adhere to NSF certification, CGMP, which is current good manufacturing practice. I mean, we pay to have these outside agencies come in and say they are doing exactly what they say they're doing. Because there's some research that shows that 80% of supplements on the market don't contain any of the active ingredients on the label.
Wow.
So 8 out of 10 don't have any vitamin C or any vitamin E or any vitamin D.
Even though it says it.
Even though they label it that way, and even worse, you mentioned earlier, they have these toxic fillers and toxic ingredients, or if they do have, let's take B12 for example. If they have B12 in the formula, it's usually going to be cyanocobalamin, which is not an active, it's really not the active form of B12. Your body has to work to be able to activate that, so it takes other factors and cofactors and can actually hurt your health. Wow. Whereas we're going to use methylcobalamin only, the active form, but it costs more.
Of course.
I mean, it just costs more. It's a better quality.
So now that you have your own pharmacies, you have your own supplements, you have your own line, you wrote the book on it, you also have educational programs where you're teaching, right? Can you explain to me a little bit about the programs and who they're for?
Sure. Well, the programs are actually, they were designed for the consumer in the beginning, but again, through time, we realized there were other pharmacists that were coming through that wanted help and wanted to be able to offer our services in their pharmacies. So now we have a pharmacy affiliate program. I have a lot of physicians that come through my program so they can be wholesalers of our supplements. So it's evolved into consumers, physicians, pharmacists, any healthcare provider, really anyone who wants to come through at this point.
So first you just wanted to help people and let them know what was happening, which is why you wrote
Right.
the book and created the programs. But then you realized the people who are actually giving the drugs, they're not even aware of this information.
That's correct.
So now other pharmacists anywhere in the country, right?
Correct.
Can go through your curriculum, go through your program, and become a partner with you and provide these optimal supplements that you've actually made sure quality control, best ingredients, and be able to prescribe that anywhere in the country to their consumers.
That's correct. And they can get people to our educational class, our OptiU RX Wellness Summit, and we pay them for their having people there, and they're able to be the expert in their individual communities at that point.
So you teach the courses, you and your
Yes.
staff and your team teaches the courses,
Yes.
but your physicians and your pharmacists that are in different places will give this opportunity to their consumers so they can educate
Yes.
themselves and their families, and you provide that, and then there's a way that they can benefit and gain revenues on that as well.
That's correct. That's exactly what we do.
Wow.
So we really are trying to set this up because our whole mission, my team's mission, is to help as many people as are willing to listen to have optimal health, wellness, and fitness so that they can revive, thrive, and optimize at any age and from any starting point. We want people to live life without limits, and I think a prescription drug is a limit. So we realized early on we weren't going to be able to fulfill that mission nationwide if we were
On your own.
on our own. But now we have affiliates in Ohio, we have affiliates in Kansas, we have affiliates in New York, we have affiliates in Tennessee, we have affiliates in South Carolina. So we have affiliates around the country, and so we're able to reach so many more people with a message of how to be healthy.
That's amazing, amazing. And what I love is, the mission of your business is to really support the consumer, educate them, and make them healthier. But you also have a give back portion in your business. Can you kind of share a little bit of how you do that with the charities?
Yeah, so we are big in our church, first of all, and we obviously give our tithes there. But we support a lot of different missions, mission trips to Nicaragua to help school kids be able to go to school, to build beds for them. I mean, these people literally sleep on the floor, dirt floor. So we've supported things like building homes there. My family has gone several times and done different, events like that. And so we do that. We support Compassion International, just different charities that we try to definitely give back for all our blessings.
That's amazing. I always acknowledge and appreciate when other socially conscious business owners aren't just doing a good thing through their business, but they're doing great from their business outside to those in need.
Well, thank you. I know you do the same, and I think it's really important.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Now, let's talk a little bit about your coaching. You said that you have programs where you can coach other physicians and other consumers. Explain to me a little bit about those coaching programs.
So what a lot of people will do is they'll say, well, I love your programs, but what I need is I need some hand holding, right? I want you to give me some more information, some detailed, for me, customized plans. So I created my own blood panel because, again, I don't think we measure the right numbers because we don't measure the numbers that there's not a drug to try to correct, right? So I think we're missing the boat. So I create my own blood panel, and in the coaching sessions, I go through their blood work. They fill out about 150 or 160 questionnaire, and we put all that together, and then I customize a plan for them so that we take it a step further than our 5-pillar program, and now we're putting, Ray, you need to do specifically this. Maybe this supplement will benefit you, here's why. Maybe changing your exercise habits will benefit you, and here's why, and here's how, and here's the science behind it. So one thing I think is important to point out, everything that I teach, there's a couple of things. Number one, it's based on science. It's not Billy's opinion, it's what science says. And number two, it's the same thing that me and my family are doing. Because I only, a lot like I think you are, only want the best. And if I'm going to say, I'm going to tell somebody, if I'm going to tell you to do it, you can bet I'm already doing it.
Amen.
Or I would not tell you that.
Obviously, you have a specific location where you're at, but you do courses all over the country through the power of online. You do digital virtual courses, and people can attend from anywhere in the world, technically, right?
Really, the world, correct, now.
And then they
Yes.
can order and purchase not only the supplements, but they can also get on the plans no matter where they live.
Correct. We just did a webinar through Zoom. We had 40 some odd people on it, and then quite a number of those ended up buying coaching, and we just do the coaching sessions through Zoom. So we can literally do it anywhere in the world.
And you're doing this with the consumers, and you also do this with the physicians and the other pharmacists. You train them also virtually, so a pharmacist or physician can be anywhere in the world and get your training and get the programs and be part of your events. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's
Today
amazing.
we're able to do that with the technology.
Well, I absolutely love it. I mean, obviously, if anyone wants to get a copy of your book, or they want to learn more about the supplements or the programs or your coaching, or physicians or pharmacists want to get connected with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, the best way is to go to my website. It's billyw360.com. They can contact me there. My phone numbers are there. Social media is there. Products are there. It's all in one spot.
That's awesome. Well, Billy, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
I truly appreciate you. Hopefully one day you'll be back.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
And thank you for joining us on today's Premier Experts. I'm your host, Ray Perez, reminding you to never leave for tomorrow, which you can do today, and always stay true to your brand. If you or anyone you know is an expert in a particular niche or industry, we would love to have a conversation about potentially being on the show. Just visit todayspremierexperts.com, click on Be a Guest, and fill out the form.